Hi everybody, it's Miss Jill again from Prospect Community Library coming to you from the dining room. This is Friday and it is the end of our Y week. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a science experiment that has to do with yeast. Yeast starts with the letter Y. So first of all, what we're going to be doing, if you get your yeast together, we're going to have yeast. And we're going to have, if you have a magnifying glass, have that handy. I do not have a magnifying glass, so I'm going to use my phone, and you can use the zoom effect on your phone, kind of as a magnifying glass. And then I have 3 plastic bags, a 1/4 cup of lukewarm water, and 2 teaspoons of sugar. Okay, so we're going to see what happens with yeast. Okay, so if you have a darker piece of paper, you're going to lay that out in front of you because we're going to examine the yeast first. So we're going to put a little bit, if you have 3 packs, you can do it that way, or you can have 1 pack and kind of divide it into about 3 parts. All right, so we're going to lay some of that right there on the surface so that the kids can use their magnifying glasses, or they can use the zoom effect on a phone or an iPad to kind of get an up-close look at the yeast to see what it looks like. To take notes, is it moving, is it breathing, does it look to be alive? And when you're done with that, we're going to take that dry yeast in one of our plastic bags. I'm going to try and do it without spilling any. We're going to put right there. So we have 1 bag that is just the dry yeast. Zip it closed, okay, and set that aside. Okay, so step 2 is we're going to do some experimenting, and we're going to put another portion of the yeast contents on our piece of paper. And then we're going to take 1 teaspoon of sugar, and we're going to add that in with the yeast and mix it around. Okay. And then again, we're going to take another look to see if the sugar is changing the yeast at all. Again, does it look to be alive? Is it living? Is it breathing? Is it moving? Is there anything about it that makes it look alive? So after the kids examine that, you're going to take a second plastic bag and scoop that into the second plastic bag. So you're going to have yeast and sugar in bag number 2. Okay, so for the last bit of yeast, we are going to pour that straight into our 3rd plastic bag. Okay, just like so. And we're going to take 1 more teaspoon of sugar, and I had 2 teaspoons of sugar in this bowl, so I know there's 1 teaspoon left in there. All right, and then we are going to make sure that there are no holes in this bag because we're going to be pouring our water in there. So we're going to pour our water straight into that plastic bag. Okay, we're going to zip it closed, and we're going to put all 3 of these bags in a sunny window for about 20 minutes to see what happens. We're going to set that aside for now and let that sit. Okay, and then while that is sitting, I'm going to explain our craft to you, since one of our books on Wednesday was called Red and Yellow's Noisy Night. Yellow starts with a Y. And Red had what he called a strummy. So we're going to make a strummy. So if you have an empty Kleenex box right here. Now, I still had Kleenex in it. I just set the clean Kleenex aside and I grabbed the box. Now also, like my box has this piece missing from it here because of the brand. That's going to make it a little weaker, so I took a piece of cardboard that I just cut up to put right against that, okay, with some tape to hold it into place, just so that it's a little more secure when we put the rubber bands around to make our strummy. So last week we made a xylophone. It was X week, and we made a xylophone with our water glasses. And I hope you made lots of really cool music with those water glasses. So this week we're making a strummy. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is have, whether it's a toilet paper tube or a paper towel tube, you can tape one of those, and I lost my marker, but you put it right here and you trace around to make sure you get the hole the right size, and then you're going to cut a hole right out of there, and you're going to put your tube right in that hole. I know it fits, I did it already. Alright, so here we go. We have, this is acting like the neck of our guitar or our strummy, and you can tape that in to make it a little more secure. I'm going to add some tape on there. Okay, and now the most important part of the guitar are the strings. Now, if you have some different sized rubber bands, that's going to have the best effect for you, because then the kids will be able to hear that the different sounds the size rubber bands make. So if you want, you can even put them in order of thickest to thinnest. We'll do this. I'm going to put a couple on this side. Make sure they are over the whole of the Kleenex box so it does get that echo effect. Okay, now I'm going to put a couple on this side. Let's see. Nope, that one won't work. Here we go. Let's try this one. Alright, and we're going to have this one right there. And we need our strings to be a little bit apart. And then we need to, you hear, they make different sounds depending on how thick or thin the rubber bands are. And then we have our own little guitar that we can play along with our xylophone if you wanted to take those glasses out again. Now, something else you could do with the Kleenex box before you put the rubber bands or the Kleenex, or not Kleenex, the toilet paper or paper towel tube in here. If you have some construction paper at home, you can cut it to the size and glue it or tape it on, and then you can decorate your guitar with stickers or with pictures to make it your own, to make it like your personality. Sunny or bright blue, you pick your favorite colors. So that is our strummy. All right, so now we're going to take a look at what has happened to our different yeast. All right, so I will say I had one all set to go because it will take about 20 minutes for the yeast to really do what we want it to do. All right, so our first bag right here, you can see it's still just plain old yeast. Nothing has happened. All right, in our second bag, the yeast and the sugar, they didn't mix together. They're still separate, and nothing much happened. But when we added that lukewarm water, look what we did. We have a whole new product. It grew and released, basically it burped carbon dioxide. All right. So carbon dioxide is the thing that makes soda fizzy, it's the thing that makes bread fluffy, and it's the gas that made our bag puff out. So yeah, yeast really is in fact alive. It's a one-celled member of the fungus family, and when you add water to it and give it a little sugar for food, the organism burps and releases that carbon dioxide. So if you want to make the most of this experiment, you can pour the rest of the dry yeast into the wet yeast mixture and let it sit for just a few minutes longer, and then you can mix the whole thing into a nice big batch of bread dough and bake it up and enjoy fresh bread. There's nothing better than fresh bread. So I hope you enjoy our craft and our science experiment today, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.